Hello. Just want to say right up front, the only reason that I've made this video is my customer was here to help put the left side fuselage fabric on last week, and I wasn't able to stay around to see the shrinking process, so I said I would make him a video to show him how it looks. But while I've made this video, I might as well give a little bit of background and my thoughts on using the Oratex system. I've been working around the experimental aircraft industry for a long time, full time since 2000. Have covered very a diverse amount of different aircraft, and I've used just about all the different covering processes out there until this last one here. We decided to try the Oratex product, uh, mainly because once it's on and done, you don't have to paint it. And I can say up front that that's probably one of only two really good advantages of the product, is that, yeah, you don't have to paint it when it's done. That being said, I'll tell you right up front, my favorite process to use out of all of them over the years was when AFS first came into being, which aircraft finishing systems, which then became Stewart systems. So using polyfiber fiber and the Stewart systems glue and product after that is by far my favorite, and a really easy way of doing it. The Oratex, I'm just going to tell you, is a pain in the ass to work with. The fabric itself is it's just crinkly. You can crease easy. It's not that hard to not that easy to lay out. The worst part is that, especially on the fuselage here, you have to lay out the fabric and mark with a pencil on the inside of the fabric everywhere that glue has to go, because you have to put 2 coats of glue on the fabric as well as putting 2 coats of glue on any structure of the aircraft that's going to attach to. Any other product, you're just gluing the structure with or without primer or paint. You can do it on bare metal. Oratex requires that there has to be at least a primer on the metal. So to remove the fabric, especially a piece this size, put it out on the bench, as you can see in one of the pictures that was posted at the beginning here. And boy, it's not easy. You definitely can't do it with one person. You need 2 people for that. It's also really hard to form over corners, the amount of heat that's required, and it's tough on your hands pulling around the corners when you get older and you get an arthritis in your hands like I am. It was almost impossible to do by myself, but I work by myself, and that's the way it is. But it was not possible to lay this out on the fuselage and do it myself. So anyways, that's my little spiel on the Oratex. So I've sped it up I think 20 times in my editing software here. So the heat gun, you do your initial shrinking with it. And it's really, really slow. Like I say, this is sped up 20 times. So I think coming up in the video, I slow it down so you can see it real time. You want to just run the pass over. It's about 10 seconds or so over the same spot, just so you're moving it really, really slow. And the same when you go with the iron. Figuring out all the heats and stuff for this was, again, the manual from Lanitz, who's the actual manufacturer, to the tips and tricks from the North American distributor, and the information's all over the place. And you just got to figure it out yourself. You can get a baseline, but I use different heats for different things. It's just not as straightforward as the Stewart systems or polyfiber used to be. So would I use this again? Nah, not for myself, no. Yeah, okay, like I say, the biggest advantage is you don't have to paint it. And I will say, finishing tapes, we went with straight tapes on this plane. My customer has no real, history with fabric aircrafts and having to have the pink taped edges. This is going to be a working bush plane, so we just went with straight tapes, and they were pretty easy to put on. I'll say that. But that's the only 2 things. You don't have to paint it. The tapes are a little easier to put on. Other than that, it's a pain in the ass. So yeah, I'm just telling it like it is. Whether anyone else agrees with me or not, that's up to them. I'm just giving you my view after fabricating many, many aircraft over the years. So there you go. I will add that I was told by the North American distributor that I was the worst candidate to use Oratex, as I have so much experience with doing regular fabric, polyfiber, stitch, seconite, whatever you want to call it. So mainly because I have to unlearn all I have learned with the other stuff, because I mean, I never went anywhere near fabric before with a heat gun. You could really do a mess with that. We only ever just ironed. So having to come at this with some high heat with a heat gun was really tough to get over at first, but he did warn me. So I guess if you've never done it any other way, maybe this might not seem as such a pain in the ass to you, but it was for me. So you can really see now at this point of the video the wrinkles in the vertical stab in the back of the fuselage. If it wasn't for the few videos that are out there, Colby Olson, I think his name is, had one. He was a first-time Bearhawk builder and used Oratex. And if it wasn't for seeing that and a couple of the videos that are out by the manufacturer, I never would have thought this would have shrunk or gone ahead. But that's about as flat as you can lay the fabric, and you can see how creased up it is. But you work at it, it does come out. Up to this point, I'd only done all the tail surfaces and flaps and ailerons. They're mostly flat. It was just the airfoil, so it wasn't that hard to do. But if you were to look at this, you'd never think it would shrink, but it does. Again, it's just a lot of time spent there with the heat gun and the iron after, and the heat gun again too. You just got to keep working at it. But yeah, I was a little worried at first, but it did come out. Okay, so for the next couple of minutes, I'll show you shrinking with the heat gun here in real time.